Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you had a great weekend. Well, I got great news and I got bad news. The great news is we all woke up today. The bad news is when they banned TikTok, CapCuts was also banned. CapCuts is the editing app that I use to edit these videos. And what happened was, well, what I had to do was I had to download another app so I could at least start doing these videos till hopefully CapCuts comes back. But if not, I have this app now, but it's kind of limited to what I could do as far as like even like the music and everything. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, oh, thank God the music's gone. But it'll have something, you know. But so what I had done was when we dropped Scraps off, when we finished it and I said, this is the last day you're going to see Scraps until Scraps comes back, I kept recording from that point on and videotaping everything so you guys didn't miss anything. And then this way, when Scraps came back, when we bring Scraps back here, hopefully within about a week or two, at least you wouldn't have missed anything from that point to where we are. All right, so I still have the videos. It's going to take me a little while because there's so many videos stacked around it, and I have to figure out where I left off, and I have to go through each individual video, which is okay. It'll take me a little time, but I'll get it because I don't want you guys to miss anything from that point on. So in the meantime, what I want to do is I want to take this Mustang and I want to roll it over here. What I'm going to I'll throw it on these casters right there. I just ordered those. And does this ever happen to you? You have something lying around forever. You never use it. And then somebody needs you, like, you know what, you can have it. Yeah, well, I had to get another set of casters. Because I had another set, but I used them once and I never used them again. Which is probably what's going to happen with these. But I just figured it was easier to get this car over. And actually, you know what? We haven't gone over this car. We'll go over this car and I'll tell you everything about it, what it is. Supposedly it's got a numbers matching motor. The thing with the motor, this car's been sitting since the 70s. It's crazy. I mean, look, it's got the old side pipes on it, everything. So the motor's locked. So what I had done was I put Marvel mystery fluid in, Marvel mystery oil, and I let it sit for about 2 weeks. This is when we first got it. I let it sit for about 2 weeks. I went to go break the motor loose. It didn't break loose. But now I'm thinking the flywheel is probably welded together with the clutch. You know, when they stick together so long, they don't break loose. And the rear brakes are locked up. So I'm thinking maybe even if I did get the motor to break loose, I wouldn't be able to turn it because everything else is locked up on the car. So we'll see. Maybe we'll dig into it a little bit. But we'll go over this car. This is a 4-speed car. We'll go over it. You know, I'll tell you everything about it. I mean, this car is going to go through... I don't know anything about Fords. I'm going to be straight honest with everybody. I don't know anything about Fords. The thing was, I've done so many 69 Camaro. I think I've probably done close to 1,000 69 Camaros. And not to mention some of the other cars like Chevelles and things like that I might have ruined. I don't know. So I figured, let me step out of my comfort zone and jump into this. And I figured, let me do it one better. Let me put a Godzilla motor in it. It's right there. Let me put a 6-speed automatic tranny in. It's right over there. So I kind of started getting the drivetrain together. So I don't know what I'm going to do as far as a frame or anything. I don't know if because it's going to be built as a pro touring car. So we'll see. We'll see on the frame and the suspension I'm going to do with the car. I'm still not sure yet. I kind of have an idea what direction to go in, but we'll see. But we'll go over that car. So what I want to do today is get that over here. This way we can get this Camaro down. I have all the parts for that to put that car together. So the game plan for the blue car, which came from California, I don't know if we should call it California. We got to come up with a name for the blue one. What I want to do is maybe just cram on the blue car, you know, yank the nose off, the quarter panels, everything, and put this car back together. I spoke to Mr. Wilson. We might even do that tomorrow. That's what we'll probably do tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to take this car apart. We're going to yank the nose off the car. We're going to cut the quarter panels off the car. We're going to do everything on the body and put that car. We're going to change. It's got a whole brand new sheet metal nose. As a matter of fact, my parts guy just dropped off some parts, and I told him I needed a set of rear outer wheelhouses. So he's going to drop that off to me later. So I literally have every part to put this car together. And what's nice is it gets all those parts off the wall. And I got to free up some space because I'm tripping over everything. So that's the game plan for today. And, like I say, I just feel terrible that I can't retrieve my videos that were already set to go of cap cuts because they banned cap cuts. But supposedly they're supposed to bring it back. But I'll do my best to get those videos back as well. I'll try to piecemeal those all together again so you don't miss anything on scraps. Alrighty? So, you know me, enough babbling. Let's get to work. Well, my parts guy dropped off the outer wheel houses. That's for this car right up here. I don't know where I'm going to put them. Just maybe here. I'm just out of room. Well, here we go. Hey guys, don't forget about this. What was the question? When was scraps last on the road? Just let me know. And this is, like I say, whoever wins this, I'll mail this right out to you. Okay? So, like I say, what's the question? When was the last time scraps was on the road? Alrighty, so, alrighty, back to work. Well, we got it on the car dollies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for my son to get here so he can give me a hand moving this thing around. So game plan is to get it to fit over here. And then I'm hoping maybe I could toss those tires maybe underneath it something like that. I just need to free up some space because it's just so cluttered here. Because it's not only the cars, it's the parts that are lying around to go on the cars. So as soon as this car gets done, it frees up a lot more space for me. And like I say, I would love to have this blue car done in time for when Scraps is ready for me to pick it up. We could drop this one off. And while this one's getting painted, we could finish Scraps. So, the game plan, it should work. On paper it works until you do it, I guess. But like I say, I just want to clean this place up. I'm just waiting for my son, and then we're going to move this thing. All right? Be right back.
No, we've got like a foot and a half.
So do we have enough to clear this?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Oh, see the jack stand. Yeah, so then,
All right, let's see if we can swing it.
unless it's on the other side, it can slide away.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can swing it over. Now, once we get this in, I will check the front, see if we can get something. You could probably push it yourself now because the wheels are already set that way. Hold on. Okay, let's see if it'll go. This is going to be the problem. All right, ready? Let's go.
Now what we can do is push this back a little bit more.
Well, your corner's going to come up close.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's keep going. Let's see what'll happen. Trial and error.
You want to keep an eye up front? I can push this. Just keep an eye up front.
Let me see if I can push this over now.
You want to push the front end over?
Yeah, because it's it. All right, here we go.
Yep. All right, you push it back now towards me. So you start putting the car in first.
Hold on, I gotta go to the I'm hitting the motor here.
Good. Push it back. We have room.
Oh,
It's nearing the rust.
all right, but don't forget the studs that are in the ground. We're gonna hit. What if she hit?
You get around the front. I think it's just the wheels not turning.
Okay. Now, once you get it to that point, it's fine. All right, hold on. Wow. I thought this thing would be a lot lighter. Are we close to those studs?
Oh no, we're gonna clear it.
As long as we keep going back?
Yeah.
All right, do we
We're
have...
already halfway past them.
Oh, okay. All right, let's go. Yeah, I never would have been able to move this car today by myself. you guys came. Comes out. Cut a hole.
Just take that.
Alright. I'll need the towel, that blanket. It's just a stupid hood, so you put on the blanket. Keep it folded like that because I'm going to need my control. Alright, I'll trade you now.
That good?
Yep. Put it around the fender. Take this one. This windshield. Remember, I'm always great with glass. That glass has not, can't break because it's got the right surface. On this thing. Let me set the glass up here. This up here. Oh, that's it. You see that, right?
Yeah.
All right. If you can bring it up over here.
It's too nice.
I got it. I got it right there. Thank you. All right. Now, those over there, you walk around.
Yeah.
That's
The
not the boxes, just a few things that are on the top of the boxes.
okay. There's.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Anything else over here?
No, everything else is either going to go down or going to go up.
Alright.
Anything else? I don't need any of that trim. Can you give me all that trim? All right, so we got the cars moved around. We got the Mustang over here. We got the Camaro over here. We started cleaning up. I'm sorry, I thought I turned the video camera on, but I didn't. But we started cleaning this place up a little bit. Just slowly starting to get everything together. That's still a mess over there. That's a little bit of a mess, but it's getting there. This up over here. This is the motor. That, you know, we'll go over this in a second. But we got the Camaro down over here. All those parts right there, they're all going on this car. And all this stuff right here is all going in that car. So what I'm going to do is, because the place is it's just a dusty mess in here from all the body work that I was doing. And, oh, you know what I got? I have to tell you. A friend of mine dropped this off to me. He dropped off a few things. And he's like, Al, I thought you could use this. And I'm like, yeah, let me see what it is. So this is Chucky. Chucky dropped this off. A palm sander. I haven't had one of those in years. I had one. I loved it. It broke. I never bought it. And then I ended up buying just a regular, you know, like the regular DA. This one here. That right there. So I'm going to try this one. I've always had good luck with these. You know, this also. But I'm glad that I'm glad that he dropped it off to me because I could really use it. Thank you very much. And I just wanted to show you that. It was very nice of him. So now what I'm going to do is, this place is so dusty, not to get sidetracked. You see, I tell you, I'm like a puppy. You know, it's like 1 second I'm like, squirrel. So what I want to do is, I just want to just blow all the dust out of here. Just get this all out of here. Once it's all the dust is blown out of here, what I'll do is, now I'll go over these two cars. I'll go over this car, I'll tell you what this whole car is about. And we'll go over this one right here. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. The dust is all settled. Let's go over these cars. All right. We'll go over the Camaro first. Okay. 1969 Camaro. Standard 3-speed on the floor. Six-cylinder car. Plain Jane. You couldn't have ordered this car any more simpler than the way this car came from the factory. Give me a minute. I just got to open up the hood. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Couldn't be any more plain Jane than this. California car. And from what I was told, it was from California. And it probably didn't spend much time in California before it left and came to New York and got killed by the salt on the roads and everything like that. So, because it took a beating. It really has. But it's got your manual brakes, power steering. Here's the power steering right there. That's it. I have the radiator for it. And this car actually runs and drives. I stole the radiator out of this. When I actually got this car on a trade. I had a 69 Rally Sport convertible. A friend of mine wanted to buy it. And I kind of valued this car a little higher for him because, he was limited to what he wanted to spend. So he ended up giving me this car right here and then the rest in cash. And then I gave him the Rally Sport that I had. So it worked out for him. For me, I didn't care. I valued it a little high because I knew I was just going to do work to it anyway, and I figured give him a break, why not? And, in the end, it'll pay off, I guess. So this is it. This is a running, driving 1969 Camaro that's been sitting since I can't even tell you how long. It's got to be, I'm going to say it probably hasn't been on the road, maybe 20 years. It's just, the person, this car was flipped. This car was flipped over and over, but it was actually flipped to guys that I knew. So that's how I was able to find out almost like most of the story about it. So one of the other guys that bought it to flip it, that was a gentleman, I believe, who got it from California. And he ended up doing the brakes in this car. Like I say, I could throw a battery in this car and throw a radiator in this car and drive it away. It's just, it needs a lot of work. Here's the other side. You guys never saw the other side. This is the other side. Hood's all rotted, but I have a hood right there. I have new fenders for it. I have new quarter panels for it. I think I have another 1 or 2 more quarter panels up there. So, game plan with this car, I spoke to Mr. Wilson. And Mr. Wilson said, hey Al, Tuesday, I don't think I have anything going on. If you want, we'll tear into the blue car. And I'm like, okay. I said, I tell you what. So I just want to rewind for a second. So this car is getting a whole new sheet metal nose. To install that sheet metal nose, You just buy a front end hardware kit. Every nut and bolt that you need to put this car back together in the front end is in that bag. They're like $60. I got it. I 100% recommend it. It just makes it. I don't like spending $60 on nuts and bolts, but it just makes the job that much easier. So I highly recommend getting the front end hardware kit. So game plan tomorrow, Mr. Wilson and I, we're going to tear into this car, and this is what we're going to do. I told Mr. Wilson, you start on the front, I'll start on the back, and we'll meet in the middle. And I think that we could get this car done. Sheet metal nose, new quarter panels. I don't think I'm going to do the floors in that amount of time, but I think we can get this car done in a day, if not a week. But we're going to shoot for a day. And the game plan, like I told you, I want to get this car done and ready to go to my buddy Joe when we pick up scraps. This way it keeps the garage, it gives me so much more room. And I'm going to have even more room once I put the parts that are lying against the wall on the car. So that's the game plan for this blue 69 Camaro. Like I say, it's a 6-cylinder standard 3-speed on the floor. You couldn't order this car any more plain Jane. Well, actually you could have. You could have ordered it with manual steering. So, I mean, get the power steering, that was an option back then. So I guess they wanted to be able to turn the car easy. But that's it. This is a car. It's been sitting here. Oh my gosh, I've had this car almost a year now, or close to it. And it's about time this car goes on the road. So we're going to go through this car. I'm going to leave this car all stock. I'm not going to mod it. I'm not going to do anything to this car. It's going to get a flat hood, and it's not going to get a rear spoiler. And it's going to get painted the same color. I'm going to keep this car true to what it was when it was built. And I know a friend of mine is going to call me on this car because he only buys 6-cylinder cars. And the reason he tells me is because he knows it hasn't been beat to death. So he's got a point. So that's the story on this car right here. We're going to get cramming on this car tomorrow. So now we'll get to the Mustang. This Mustang right here has been sitting since the 70s. This car has been sitting and nothing's been done to this car. When I first got it, a few weeks after I got it, I filled it up with Marvel Mystery Oil, and like 2 weeks later I checked to see it wouldn't break loose. And that's what I was saying. That's when the light bulb went off, thinking maybe that the clutch is frozen to the flywheel and the rear brakes are locked. And I just think it's a combination of nothing wanting to turn. So now I'm going to show you what this car is. It's a 4-speed car. It's been a little botched up here and there, but it's a 4-speed car. Something else here. I got to put the phone down again, all right? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. It's an A code car. Right there. It's a 289, but let me get a flashlight. And I'll tell you the story about this car in a minute. But I know what the gentleman that I got the car from, I know what he tried to do. He was trying to get this thing to crank over. If you see that right there, I don't know. It's all beat up. So I know he tried to get this thing to crank over. And even if the motor was free, you weren't going to get it to spin because everything else is locked up on the car. But here it is. It's supposed to be a numbers matching 289. It's in pretty good shape. Everything in here, the firewall seems really good. The lip there needs to be cleaned up or just grounded down and all fixed. But everything else is really nice. The shock towers are really nice. And it's a shame because they're coming out. I'm not a Mustang guy. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, you're not going to cut that car up. Yeah, I'm going to cut this car up. What I wanted to do was, like I told you, I wanted to step out of my comfort zone. So I jumped into a Mustang, which I know nothing about. So we'll learn together. And I'm sure I'm going to bounce a lot of questions off you guys. So What I wanted to do with this car is make it more of a pro street type of car. Excuse me, not pro street, pro touring type of car. So I came across this motor. I don't know if you guys heard of it. Ford makes a Godzilla motor. And the Godzilla motor was Ford's answer to the Chevy LS. So this is what I ended up buying. I ended up buying a Godzilla motor. I ended up getting a 6-speed automatic transmission. This is a factory intake. But I don't know if I'm going to use that or if I'm going to use the Ford Motorsport, I guess, race intake or whatever that they have. Supposedly it has about another 10 more horsepower to the car. But the thing about these motors, if you do a cam change on this and put a Truck Norris cam in it, it makes about 630 to 650 horsepower with 640 foot-pounds of torque. This car only weighs 2,800 pounds. It's a styrofoam cup with a motor on it. So I was going to change the cam in this. And then I'm kicking it around and kicking it around. It's brand new. I'm not going to tear it down. And I've done it before. I bought brand new motors right out of the crate and send them right to the machine shop. I've done it. I'm not going to do it with this one. I think this is going to make more power than what I need in this car right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm taking the shock towers out. It's going to be, the whole car is going to be adjustable coilovers. I'll be able to adjust the height on this car. I'm going to do a 4-link in the back. The suspension I might buy as a complete unit because I have to pull the floors out of here. These all have to get done. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get a complete frame and just roll it underneath this car with the tubular control arms, rack and pinion, and everything like that. I'm going to try to take the path of least resistance, but I don't want to get beat to death with the car either. So that's the game plan on this car right here. It's going to be all, just a pro touring car. I already have the color picked out. I already have the color of the interior that I want in the car. And, it's going to be little subtleness. It's going to have little subtle things of what I want to do. And I already know the name of the car. The car is going to be called Godzilla. I don't know if you've seen it. And if you do, please let me know. I haven't come across a 1964 through 1966 Mustang with a Godzilla motor in it. I've seen them, I believe, with the Coyote motors in there. But this motor is actually smaller than the Coyote motor. It's actually 7.4 cubic inches. I believe it's a small block with 445 cubic inches. It's a big cubic inch small block. That's why it makes so much power and so much torque. The cylinders in it are tremendous. They look like garbage pails in there. So, back to this. What I really want to do is I want to make it a nice driver, and just see what we can do with it. Like I said, I got the color picked out, the interior color picked out, wheels and tire combination. I think I got that all picked out already, and we'll see. But back to, like I say, I'm like a puppy squirrel. But back to the Coyote motor and the Godzilla motor. I haven't come across a 1964 through 1966 Mustang with a Godzilla motor in it. I've seen 67 and newer with a Godzilla motor in it. I know in 67 they went to the wider bodies. The wide body, I guess it was called. And this car was narrower. So if you come across one, if you see a link or anything like that with that, please send it over to me because I can't find one. If it's not out there, this will be the first build on YouTube with a Godzilla motor in it from 64 to 66. So, but I hope somebody else did it, so it makes it a little easier for me. But that's it. That's this car right here. 289, 4-speed, A-code car. Pretty much all stock. Here's the trunk. A lot of the parts are in there. Okay, I got to show you this. When I bought this car, I asked a gentleman if he had the keys to it. And he says, I believe the keys are in the box in the trunk. Now, excuse me, I believe the keys are in the box, in the car. I said, okay, so this is what I find. All these keys. I had to go through all of those keys and I couldn't find the trunk key. So I'm like, so I ended up drilling this out. This whole thing is junk. It's all rotted away. But the trunk's not bad. But I guess considering the trunk's half, really it's the top of your gas tank. That's what makes the trunk in these cars. So I couldn't find the keys. I wanted to get into the trunk. So I drill that out. I get into the trunk. I see what's in there. I stick my hand in that box of keys again, and the next key I pull out was the ignition key to this car. So I guess I was lucky. I guess if I would have kept digging and digging and digging, I probably would have found the trunk key. But, I guess, my curiosity, it just kind of got to me. So I wanted to get the trunk open and see what was inside. And that was it. That was all that's inside. But you want to know something cool? Whenever I buy an old car, this car's been sitting since the 70s, 78, I believe. 77 to 78. So, anything that you find, check this out. I found a change holder or dispenser or whatever. So, anything that's in here is at least the newest it's going to be is probably 1978 when the last time the car was on the road. So, it's going to be from 78 and older. So, I always say one day I'm going to find that quarter that's worth a nickel. And I got a bunch of, I got to tell you, I have probably about 5 solo cups filled with change from cars that I found sitting for decades. Like here's something here. Look at, anybody remember this? One of these. And here's the change from a car that was sitting over 25 years. And then here's another group of keys, I can't tell you. That's what I found in all this. That's out of another car. So it's pretty interesting. You can find some really interesting things in these cars. But that's pretty much it. So game plan for tomorrow. We're gonna jump on this car and we'll see how far we can get. It'd be nice to get a decent amount of work done on that car because I got to get it done within, if scraps is done in a week, this car's got to get done in a week. And that would just make it so much easier for me anyway, because it really clears this place out. And it just makes it more, it's just easier to work in here because I'm tripping over things in here. You could see, you guys must be like, what is that guy doing in there? And that's what I'm trying to clear the place out. So, I just wanted to keep you posted on what was going on. And I'm trying to get this new app figured out with these videos. So you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. I'm sorry. And, we'll see. Hopefully we'll get the other app back. But if not, I do have the video from scraps from the last time you saw it. I kept recording. So, I don't want you to miss anything. But you know me. I love to babble. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching. And you guys take care of yourselves.